Greeting students. Welcome Form 9 students. The last class we had was on 29th May 2020. The last class was taken by Meenal Madam and I, Mrs. Neha Sheth, is going to continue with the class for this whole week. I will be completing the second part of the chapter The Sound of Music from your Beehive textbook. That is the part 2, the Shehnai of Bismillah Khan. But before I start with the explanation, I would like to share something about music. Life without music would be a mistake, and I'm sure you all are music lovers. Music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. And the students who are already well versed with any instruments already know how important music is in their life. Music heals the wound. Music can be your best friend. Music changes your moods. Music helps you everywhere. So here today I am going to talk about one more legend, that is Ustad Bismillah Khan. As I told you, music speaks the language. So in the previous chapter, we saw that how Evelyn Glennie, with the help of music, expressed her feelings to the world even after all the physical defects she was having. She is still playing music. Music joins her to the world. That is the power of music. Yes, music soothes you. Before talking about Ustad Bismillah Khan, I would like you all to see the video which I am sharing with you, and then we will continue with the chapter. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Yes, that was Ustad Bismillah Khan. Yes, he is no more with us. He died on 21st August 2006. So if he would have been alive today, he would have been 104 years old. He has got many achievements under his name. He has got all the awards, the highest awards what an Indian citizen can get. He did not only get Shehnai on the national platform, but he has also played Shehnai at international platform. He was been invited to play Shehnai at the Cannes Film Festival also. So you can imagine how well Ustad Bismillah Khan used to play the Shehnai. Yes, to start with the explanation. Do you know these people? What instruments do they play? Yes, you have other classical musicians of India. The very first picture is of Hariprasad Chaurasia, who plays the flute. Then you have Bimalendu Mukherjee, who plays the sitar. Then you have the Akari sisters, the famous Zakir Hussain, who plays the tabla. You have Amjad Ali Khan, who plays the sarod. Then you have Kunna Kudari Vaidyanathan. You have Ram Narayan, and the last picture is of Ustad Bismillah Khan. Think of the Shehnai, and the first thing you will probably imagine is a wedding or a similar occasion or function. Yes, normally Shehnai is played to welcome or at any auspicious occasions. But the next would probably be Ustad Bismillah Khan. Yes, as soon as we talk about the word Shehnai, Ustad Bismillah Khan name is associated with this musical instrument. He is the one who got the Shehnai at a different level. The Shehnai maestro playing this instrument. Paragraph 1. Emperor Aurangzeb banned the playing of a musical instrument called pungi in the royal residence, for it had a shrill, unpleasant sound. Yes, Emperor Aurangzeb. Pungi, you have already heard people saying this saying in Hindi, Pungi baja ke rakh dunga. Pungi here means the pungi, the musical instrument, used to make such an irritating noise that Emperor Aurangzeb banned that instrument in his royal court. Pungi became the generic name for reeded noisemakers, means it became the name to the class or the group for the whole of the instruments, all the instruments which were almost like pungi. Few had thought that it would one day be revived. A barber of a family of professional musicians who had access to the royal palace decided to improve the tonal quality of the pungi. Yes, people thought that some improvisation would be done in the pungi and it could be played better. None other than a barber who was from a professional musician's family. He was allowed to enter the royal palace, decides to improve the quality of the pungi. So he chose a pipe with a natural hollow stem that was longer and broader than the pungi and made 7 holes on the body of the pipe. Yes, finally the barber decides to change the pungi. So he takes up a hollow stem and he makes 7 holes in it. When he played on it, closing and opening some of these holes, soft and melodious sounds were produced. Of course, of course, when the barber had made the 7 holes in the pipe, playing Shehnai, playing flute is all about how you are blowing the air in the pipe and then opening and closing the holes. This is how the music was created. And below, they have shared the picture of Pungi and Chennai. There was a vast difference between Pungi and Chennai. They both were completely different in the structure look. So, when the Nai started playing music by closing and opening the holes, soft and melodious sound was produced. He played the instrument before royalty and everyone was impressed. Of course, he first played the instrument at the Emperor Aurangzeb's court, and everybody was so impressed by the music from the new instrument. The instrument, so different from the pungi, had to be given a new name. Of course, as the instrument was different, a new name was given to it. As the story goes, since it was first played in the Shah's chamber and was played by a Nai barber, the instrument was named the Shehnai. Of course, this is what the story tells, that as it was first played in the Shah's chamber, Aurangzeb's chamber, and it was played by a barber, Nai. Nai is the Hindi word for barber. The instrument was therefore named Shehnai. So, this is how Shehnai got its name, because it was played in the Shah's chamber for the first time and it was played by a Nai barber. That's why the instrument was now called Shehnai. Students, moving to paragraph number 2. The sound of the Shehnai began to be considered auspicious. Yes, of course, it was considered auspicious, means bringing good fortune. That's why it was always played at good occasions, either at the temples or some marriage ceremonies or any good occasions which were happening at the place. And for this reason, it is still played in temples and it is an indispensable component of any North Indian wedding. Yes, because it is auspicious, it is considered as good fortune. We still play Shahnai at temples and at the weddings in North India are incomplete without the music of Shahnai. In the past, the Shehnai was part of the Naubat or traditional ensemble of 9 instruments found at royal court. Yes, first Shehnai was just the part of the Naubat and it was a group, it was in the traditional group of the 9 instruments that was found at the royal court. Till recently, it was used only in temples and weddings. Yes, other than the royal court, it was just played at the temples and wedding. The credit for bringing this instrument onto the classical stage goes to none other than Ustad Bismillah Khan. Of course, the credit of the credit of getting this Shehnai at a classical level goes to Ustad Bismillah Khan. He was the one who got Shehnai at a different stage. He did not only play it on the stage, but he also did play it in cinemas, not only at national levels but at international levels also. And let me tell you, the word ustad is also very, very important. The meaning of the word ustad is an expert or a highly skilled person, especially a musician. They are normally a musicians or they are dance artists. They are gurus who are so well known that the pupils, the students, while taking their name also, they feel that they are taking the name of God. So that's why he was such a maestro of Shehnai. So he was called Ustad Bismillah Khan. Moving to paragraph number 3. As a 5-year-old, Bismillah Khan played gilli danda near a pond in the ancient estate of Dumbrao in Bihar. Yes, so he was basically from a small village of Bihar. When he was 5 years old, like any small child, he used to also play gilli danda near the pond. He would regularly go to the nearby Bihariji temple to sing the Bhojpuri Chetha, at the end of which he would earn a big laddu weighing 1.25 kg as a prize given by the local Maharaja. Yes, being born in a very small village in Bihar, he used to go every day to the nearby Bihariji temple. Yes, the video which I shared with you earlier, in that starting only we see that Bismillah Khan was also a singer. He used to sing. Same way when he was 5 years old, he used to sing Bhojpuri Chetha at the temple of the Bihariji, where the local Maharaja would get so much impressed, or he would find it so soothing to its ears. He would be so happy that as an incentive, as a prize, he would give a big laddu which would weight 1.25 kg. It was a really a good incentive for little Ustad Bismillah Khan. This happened 80 years ago. Yes, we are talking about the year 1921, because Ustad Bismillah Khan was born in 1916, and 5 years when he was 5, so it is only 1921. So we are talking about the year 1921. He used to get a laddu as an incentive while singing prayers at the Bihariji temple for the local Maharaj. And the little boy has travelled far to earn the highest civilian award in India, the Bharat Ratna. Yes, when Bismillah Khan died, he was almost 91 years old. Yes, he was 91 years old. So, we can imagine how long his journey would have been, that he has earned the highest civilian awards, Bharat Ratna. The video which I shared showed that what amount he has received, almost all the awards which an Indian citizen or an Indian classical musician could achieve. He's not only got national recognitions, but he has also achieved many international recognitions. So this was his journey from getting an incentive as a laddu to getting the highest Bharat Ratna awards. Moving to paragraph 4. Born on 21st March 1916, Bismillah belongs to a well known family of musicians from Bihar. So, this shows that music was already in his blood. His grandfather, father, his uncles, all were great musicians. They already were playing different instruments or were singing or were engaged in some or other music. His grandfather, Rasul Bux Khan, was the Shehnai Nawaz of the Bhojpur King's Court. His father, Pegambar Bux, and other paternal ancestors were also great Shehnai players. So, of course, his complete family, his grandfather, his father, they all played at the royal courts or the temples. So, this is how Bismillah Khan was already into the family tradition of becoming the best Shehnai player. Yes, students, before moving ahead, let me share with you an interesting fact about Bismillah Khan. His real name was Kamruddin Khan, but which was almost in rhyme with his elder brother's name Shamshuddin. But upon seeing the newborn, the grandfather Rasul Baksh exclaims Bismillah, which means in the name of Allah, and therefore from that day Kamruddin Khan became Bismillah Khan. So this is how his name changed to Bismillah. So, dear students, for today I am leaving this chapter till here. My request to all of you is that please read page number 21 and 22, and tomorrow I will continue with the same part again. Uh, and please do not read ahead so we can continue, and I'll be able to share some more facts also with you, so you get more knowledge. Till that, take care of yourself. And now, with all the lockdowns open and you all moving out, you need to be more careful. Please see that whenever you are going out, you have your mask on, you sanitize your hands properly, you keep yourself at a distance from everybody so that you are safe and sound. Thank you for today and see you all tomorrow.